Imagine the kind of stress that guy was under. He was under so much stress he had to get anesthetized every night.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
I knew there was something that from what things I've witnessed about him that I almost felt like an obligation to speak up on his behalf as he left a void. He was going through so much. There were so many people that wanted a part of him, trying to.
When Michael Jackson passed away, the entire world found itself desperately searching for answers, for some way to make sense of it all. Eventually, the investigation reached its conclusion. A doctor was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter, and for countless people watching from the outside, that verdict felt like the final chapter of the story. The case was officially closed, and the world, as it does, simply moved on. But for some of the people who truly knew Michael best, the ones who stood closest to him, they've never once stopped speaking about those final haunting months of his life.
And I remember when he signed off that it was finalized that he would be doing the This Is It show in London. And when that started to format itself, that's when he said to me, he said, "Bill, now you're going to see the vultures."
His bodyguard Bill looked back on a conversation he'd shared with Michael, one that took place just before everything was about to change forever. In the moment, it hadn't seemed like anything worth remembering, but once the This Is It concerts were officially announced, those very words suddenly carried far more weight and meaning. As Bill tells it, he watched Michael's entire world shift and transform almost overnight, seemingly out of nowhere. People who had vanished from his life for years without a trace suddenly resurfaced, eager to be part of it all once again. Everyone, it seemed, wanted a piece of what was shaping up to be the biggest comeback of Michael's entire career. Bill describes standing there, witnessing that dramatic shift unfold firsthand, right in front of him. From his vantage point, he could see with total clarity just how quickly Michael was thrust back into the spotlight, becoming the center of everyone's attention the moment that tour was made official.
I didn't understand what that meant at the time, but as things progressed, he was talking about people that he hadn't heard from in years, because it was a big thing for him to put together a tour. So everybody and anybody wanted to be part of it. And there was going to be people trying to outdo one another. I did see it, I received the phone calls from so many people that were trying to reach him. So I understood it then, what he meant by that.
Yet, that was far from the only side of Michael's life Bill chose to reflect on. He opens up about why he believes Michael became such an easy target for others to exploit, how the sheer generosity he showed toward children was so often twisted and misread by those on the outside, and why the accusations that followed would go on to change the entire course of his life forever.
I think some people just took advantage of his relationship with children, that he invited into his home. Some kids were cancer patients that he helped get through, took care of their medical bills. Others that he welcomed to Neverland, and they would stay. Some people took advantage of him. He was a target, and they accused him of certain things, and there are people going after him financially when they feel that he did something to their kid. I mean, come on, as a parent, there's no amount of money in the world that would satisfy me, if you did something to mine. So they went after him financially.
As the discussion moves forward, Bill finds himself facing yet another topic that has sparked heated debate for years on end. This time, the spotlight turns to Michael's sprawling business empire and the extraordinary far-reaching assets he once commanded.
Assets he owned played a part, and some people not like him.
Well, him owning the Beatles catalog was huge. And him obtaining it certainly ruined some friendships. But he was powerful to own that. Now, how much of a part did it play, in his passing? I don't know. I really don't know, but I do know that he owned a big portion of something that, unfortunately, his estate no longer owns.
Yet, away from the cameras and the public eye, Bill reveals there was an entirely different reality unfolding, one that few people ever truly witnessed. He remembers the relentless, ever-present weight of that responsibility, shielding not only Michael himself, but also the people who mattered most in his inner circle.
And Michael, he was very adamant about his kids living a normal life, right?
Absolutely. We shielded his kids from a lot of the I want to say madness, craziness that was going on. So they were unaware. We would be staying at hotels and we would receive death threats or threatening letters dropped off at the front desk. And I would make the call that we're gonna leave. And we would leave in the middle of the night without anyone knowing. And the kids just didn't know that why we were leaving.
From there, the conversation shifts to that unforgettable day when everything shifted forever. Bill takes us back to exactly where he stood the moment the very first reports started spreading, and he describes in vivid detail the exact instant it truly sank in that the news was real. Looking back now, Bill recalls how that single day seemed to bring the entire world around him to a grinding, complete halt. This moment reveals just how profoundly Michael's passing shook someone who had walked beside him day after day through it all.
I told her I didn't believe it. She said, well, it's all over the news. So I turned the TV on, and as I turned the TV on, his brother Jermaine was coming to the podium. And that's when he made the announcement, and that's when I knew it was real. I didn't believe it, but I knew it was true. Or pity I didn't want to believe it. And yeah, everything was at a standstill for me. Because I didn't know what my next move was. I didn't know. I was concerned for the kids, what's going on with them. I just didn't, I was kind of stuck mentally. So I didn't know what was going on.
When the moment came for Bill to open up about what might have played a role in Michael's passing, he didn't reach for one simple answer or a quick explanation. Instead, he took a step back, thinking deeply about the immense weight and mounting pressures Michael carried in those final difficult months, along with the countless people and forces quietly shaping the course of his life.
I've always been taught, especially through my mom, to forgive. You don't have to forget, but you should forgive people, because people sometimes don't do things purposely. But I do fault him for not paying attention. He's a doctor and he knows what he did and whatever he was administering. To my brother, he should have been there watching and monitoring as a doctor and not on the phone with his girl.
If this story pulled you in and you're hungry for more just like it, take a moment to drop a like and hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.